So you started an SMMA, a marketing agency, but now you need to truly become a master of your craft. You need to learn how to absolutely crush Facebook ads. I recently did a free training inside of our Facebook group that goes over the exact step-by-step process we teach every single week inside the GSD that's allowed me to get $10 leads or better for literally any niche at all. I mean, I've done this for clown colleges, guys, limos, real estate agents, chiropractors, roofers, all of these niches following this process, this exact four-step process and my testing methodology that I go over in this video. I'm able to get $10 leads or better every single time. So if you want to become a master of Facebook ads, you want to be able to master client fulfillment and eventually client acquisition for yourself, this is one of the pieces to the puzzle. And if you want to learn the other pieces, you want to learn the full picture, all you have to do is hit the subscribe button right below this video and also click on the notifications, because every single week I'm dropping 20 years worth of knowledge right here in full in-depth training video so that you can learn to acquire and keep clients consistently for your digital business. If that's interesting to you, all you got to do, hit the subscribe button. Otherwise, let's dive into today's training, which is all about how to generate $10 or better leads for literally any niche at all using Facebook ads. Let's dive in. Cool. All right, guys. So welcome. How to generate $10 leads in any niche you want. If you've been paying attention the last few weeks, myself and Rahul, shake your hands around Rahul so they can see you. Go, woohoo, it's me, yeah. That guy. I've done a few different student spotlight interviews, people who are inside the GSD, who are kicking ass and taking names, everything from spending $700 and getting $150,000 in profit from their ads, going from $0 all the way to $20,000 months on the back of us helping her launch ads that absolutely crush for her clients, and then her talking about it in content. A guy who's now generating $5,000 sales from his ads and organic marketing. A lot of this has to do with a process that I teach inside the GSD. These guys are working, by the way, in all different kinds of niches: real estate, home services, roofers, contractors. One of them is even doing lawn care. All of these niches, you'll note, they're successful in. Right? And how are they doing that, you might think? Why are you able to teach them all, Cody, every single Friday, no matter what niche they would? And I'll tell you, I've done some weird ads for people. Some of you guys who have been in the GSD inner circle might have heard people ask for limousine ads. You know, I've had people go literal clown college. I did ads for at one time. That was fun. Flower shops all over the place. Just the most ridiculous things, because no matter how hard I try to tell people in the GSD that they should pick a niche, they don't always listen, and they bring in some weird shit to me. So as is my need to do, as is my purpose, I help them every single week generate leads for these niches. And I've produced a concept, a process that allows me to crush it for every one of those niches, no matter who it is, no matter what they work with, every single time. Guys, your robots are coming in and out, and I'm going to kick you out with your robot if it happens again.
Yeah. So I see that. I'll take care of the waiting room. You stay focused.
Okay, cool. So we're going to dive in today, guys. It really comes down to four pieces. So today, what are we going in? What's the topic? I think it's a really important one, because a lot of you guys are working with different niches. You want to find the perfect ad for it, but we're going to talk about how to generate $10 or better leads for any niche. Okay. How do we do it? And it really comes down to four core pieces, all right, that we're doing inside of the GSD every single time. One, it's creating a scary offer. Two, it's using that scary offer to create a control ad. Three, it's having a frictionless, speed, imperfect action based campaign, test campaign. And then it's understanding how to use that using the rapid fire testing methodology. Doing these things in combination, right, gets us to where we want to go. Okay, gets us to having $10 leads or better for every single niche. And how do I know this? Again, guys, I've worked with literally hundreds of niches myself. And within the GSD, I've worked with, I don't know, every time I think I've seen it all, somebody brings something new like a clown college. So I can't say I've seen literally all of them, I guess, but a lot of weird ones and a lot of things. Now we're starting with the scary offer. Okay. Now the scary offer formula is big end result plus customer language plus specificity plus risk reversal. Okay. Now, with the other parts of this, when we do this for ourselves, we want to add a unique selling position or angle and a reverse pain statement. But for ads, we're just sticking with this first part up here. Okay. This doesn't have to be, we're not going into some long ass copy. We're not trying to figure out all the different pain points. This is cold traffic strangers. They don't give a shit. They don't know you. We just need something that hits and speaks their language. That's it. And so when we come into this, it's like, okay, well, what do I mean by customer language, for instance? Why is this so important? Well, our words are going to be stuff like traffic, leads, sales calls, clients, right? And we tend to use these words along with things like Facebook, SEO, PPC, stuff that we know. We tend to speak to our prospects and our marketing all through our own words and assume that the other side is understanding what we're saying. But what we need to be doing is understanding their language. Okay. So what does that mean? It means like for a real estate agent, it's probably traffic, then buyer opportunities, then actual buyer and seller appointments, right? Then you're talking about showing homes or getting listings. Then you're actually talking about closed deals or sold properties. Right? Difference. You're talking to a Chiro. You're talking about probably traffic to their website. Then it becomes a patient inquiry. Then they become an actual maybe patient consult. Then they actually become a patient, right? For a contractor, you're talking about traffic to their website. Then you're talking about a quote request. Then you're talking about an actual quote. Then you're talking about an actual job, right? Every one of these different industries has their own language, and you should be speaking individually to them no matter what, okay? So knowing that, if I was running a scary offer for an agency looking to get real estate agents, for instance, then my scary offer would be something along the lines of, what's the biggest end result I can get? Well, for us, we could guarantee 30 appointments, 30 buyer conversations, or 30 connected qualified buyers every 30 days. Right. Now we did the connected part and the qualified part because of different pain points that they had. If I wanted to say, okay, cool, what about if I'm running this for an e-commerce? Say I'm running this for an e-commerce store, right? And I want to be an agency for them, or I want to help them run their ads. So I can do a guaranteed increase in overall ROI or ROAS, because that's a number they'll be focused on. That's language that they're going to be talking on. Let's say I'm running ads for a chiropractor. So now it's for a chiropractor getting chiro patients, right? Get pain-free, get a pain-free back in under 4 sessions, right? Or under 60 days, guaranteed, right? Big end results using language and pain points that they want. And so you take this kind of stuff, or for my other one, I think it was the limo company, right? The limo company, they had a few different things. You could do a BOGO package. You could do a discounted, what they were calling like party. So I think it was like use the limo to go do a wine tour or something like that. You could give away free, I think, wine. We tried it with the wine tour, right? But the idea here is you need to have the biggest thing you can. Now you're going to run into, and tell me guys if this sounds familiar, right? Drop a 1 in the chat or a 1 out in the comments if this sounds familiar. You get into it with a client and you say, cool, what's an offer, right? And they're like, well, I don't want to do an offer. my product is just, so good that, why would I need to do an offer? Why would I need to give something away, give dollars off, give a discount? Anybody ever had that happen to them with one of their clients before? Well, I'm telling you now, when you start to get into it with a bunch of them, it's something that will happen. And the problem with this is that they're used to dealing with their organic traffic. They're used to dealing with people who have used this company previously, either that or it's a referral based program. They don't want to give these kinds of offers, but you need to make them understand that when we are doing things through ads, right, then that means we're working with cold traffic. That means we're actually talking to strangers who don't know you. And so you do need to incentivize them, especially on an interrupt platform, which is what Facebook is, an interrupt platform, to be able to incentivize them to take action. You need to have something that's going to win. So you take these offers now. Okay. So now we've got the scary offer. Let's just revert it back to this one, but you guys get the idea, right? Big end result, customer language, specificity. What do I mean by specificity? If I say 30 connected qualified buyers guaranteed, or I say 30 connected qualified buyers every 30 days guaranteed, even if the other one could have implied that it would be done faster and more, the specificity adds strength to the offer psychologically. So again, when I go back to the chiropractor, if I'm in pain with my back, if they say I can help you get pain free, or another guy says I can help you get pain free in the next 30 to 60 days guaranteed, I'm going to go with the one that says 30 to 60 days guaranteed. And I'm going to do that because I'm powerless to the power of numbers, but also just because it makes more sense. I can see the outcome. I can really visualize what's about to happen. It makes it a lot stronger psychologically for your offer. Okay. So we've got the scary offer. That's part one. Part two now is create a control ad using the scary offer. Okay. Now, what is a control ad? Now, what most people do when they start to think of an ad campaign, especially newer people, and this is an almost direct correlation that I have found over the years, that the newer a person is at advertising and marketing, the more complexity they try to add to the campaigns before actually launching it. Okay. And there's a few reasons for this. One, it's because they're always, when if any of you guys went to school, you're always trying to be the smartest guy in the room in the beginning because you want to use what you just learned. You want to go out there and kick some ass. I mean, I remember when I first got my business degree and I first started thinking about doing marketing agencies, in my head, I was writing all of these giant, 10-page plans. How much of that shit actually happened? Not a lot of it. And a lot of that happens with ads. You're like, okay, I learned long form copy. I learned how to build a funnel. This is the strategy I saw on this VSL thing. I better build all of this stuff out and then I'll test it. But what ends up happening a lot of the time is you create and create and create, and you spend weeks or months getting ready to launch. And then when you launch, the market doesn't give a shit. And now you've probably burnt all your lead time, any extra time, resources, or money resources you had going up to it. Well, what I want you guys to really learn to do is to reverse that and simplify first and understand the core concept of any campaign is right offer, right person. Okay, write that down. Put that in the comments. Right offer, right person. That's the shit that you need to have before you bother spending any money on building anything or going out and creating a giant, beautiful video or going out and designing a funnel. It doesn't matter. Because if you waste all that time and then nobody cares, you're going to waste all that time again in that process. If you have something a little bit better, meaning a simple, frictionless process, you can get there a lot quicker. So that works its way into the control ad. Okay, the control ad is literally just taking this, adding a bit of a call out. So you say something like real estate agents want 30. Or you could even say, what would your business look like with 30 extra brand new qualified buyers on your calendar and guaranteed to connect in the next 30 days? All right, something like this where you're saying the first part, or you could even just make it even simpler and say want 30 connected, 30 guaranteed, qualified buyers live transferred to your phone in the next 30 days, right? Then you could put something like tired of talking to hundreds of useless quote unquote leads. Leads want to have the money from it, but not the time waste. Our system filters them for you and guarantees 30 who are ready to go on your calendar every month. Click here to claim your exclusive area. Right? Very, very simple couple of line post. You would say the same thing if you were running this for, say I was running this for the chiropractor that I was just talking about. So if I wanted to do the chiro niche and it was the 60 days, you would just say something like, you could target athletes, you could target, and we'll get into that in a second because that's going to be a part of it, understanding the audiences. But you would say, hey, middle-aged man, are you punched over in pain? Have you been in pain for what feels like forever and nothing's ever worked? I can get you pain-free in the next 30 to 60 days, guaranteed. All you have to do is click below, claim a spot on my calendar for a free consult or a $10 consult or whatever that offer is going to be, and I'll show you exactly how I'm going to do it. There you go. Okay, cool. Can you make for SaaS? Yeah, I mean, if I was going to do for a SaaS account, right? So if I was going to do it for an agency selling SaaS, the first thing I would normally do is something like I always find DBRs to make the best scary offers. So I would say something like along the lines of, just to stick with the real estate thing, it would be, get 10 guaranteed buyers on the phone in the next 7 days without spending a dime on ads, right? And then you would build an ad just exactly like this around that concept, right? And so you just say, okay, cool, copy, paste, take this here, copy, paste, and say want 10 guaranteed buyers on the next 7 days without having to spend a dime on ads, right? Question mark. You could even say, tired of this initial leads, want to see the money up front. I'm going to have to delete this now to make this one. Right? You say, get 10. Where did that just go? I hate this shit. All right. Well, it's gone. There we go. Yeah. So anyway, you would just put that offer here, right? Say, so want 10 guaranteed buyers on the phone in the next 7 days without having to spend a dime, on ads. Maybe even do shocked emoji, right? And then you could say the same thing. 100 leads that are wasting time. Our system filters them for you and guarantees, and you just change this to guarantees 10 who are ready to go on your calendar every month. And you could even say here, you say best part, you don't have to spend a single dollar on ads to get started. Click here to claim your exclusive area, right? And then it's a SaaS because you're just plugging in. And remember what we say about the SaaS stuff, right, guys? You guys get so bogged down in the 40 billion different features that it has. You're trying to sell it as a system, right? When you got to remember, like, the core thing about SaaS is what? People buy for one reason. 9 times out of 10, people will buy a SaaS product for one single feature that they need to solve a problem. Everything else is cool and it'll make them stick longer and it'll make them all amazed with the product. And as they get more and more indoctrinated into it, that will take more and more hold on what they're saying. But to sell it in the first place, right, to get started with that, it's one feature you got to focus on. And so that's why I focused in on the DBR. I really do think DBR is the best thing for ads, and it's the easiest thing because it's the easiest way to make a pitch, get a bunch of results without having to spend money on ads because we're going to reactivate on the database side of things. Now we move on. Let me grab a screenshot of this. I'll dump this in our private chat after we get into this part. So we have our control ad. It's okay. Well, what do we do now? Now I get into what I was just talking about. Frictionless, imperfect, action-based test campaign. Okay. What do I mean by that? So what I want to avoid here, and this is what I was talking to you guys about earlier. Okay. I want to avoid spending unnecessary time building unproven assets. Okay. I want to avoid spending unnecessary money perfecting unproven assets. Okay. These are the two core things that we need to avoid. And these are the two core things that most people don't even think about. This is where a lot of people are just dead right at the starting line. They don't get off the starting line because they put so much time, energy, effort, money into the thing. And guys, if you've ever written like a long form piece of copy, a blog, a book, a video, you get so close to it that it's really hard to be objective when it comes to judging whether it'll work or not. And so you just go and go and go. And by the end of it, you're like 2 months in, thousands of dollars into it. You're like, I know when I flick this on, this is going to be the best thing ever. I know that when I turn this thing on, it's going to work. And so that's why you keep going and going. The launching the thing is the scary part. And so you convince yourselves, well, maybe if I just do a little bit more work, maybe if I just do that next little thing, right, that'll make it better and I'll just launch it tomorrow. But deep down inside, you're just delaying what you don't want to do. But what this ends up doing, guys, is when you eventually do go ahead and flick the button, you've delayed it so far. You've invested so much time, so much resources into it that when it doesn't work, that's it. And it's done. If you flip it around the other way now and do something frictionless, high volume, more affordable leads, right? Then we can get to what we want to get to, which is person, right offer, right? So what we want is a way to speed test. Speed test, we want to be able to speed test audiences. We want to be able to speed test offers, and then maybe a little bit of creative, right? Right person, right offer, otherwise known as optimal selling strategy, which is another thing for a whole other day, right? And so what we do this with, best practice for a frictionless, imperfect action campaign is we use lead form campaigns on the Facebook platform. Okay, why do we do this? Because it doesn't take any time. You say, what do you not need? Don't need a funnel. You use a control ad. So you don't need, you don't need some long copy, long story copy. You don't need video, right? All this shit you don't need. So you just have a simple ad now with all this stuff that we're going to show you in a second with the rapid fire testing methodology. You don't have to build a funnel. You don't have to do any of this other stuff. And then we do one other thing, which is an asshole sequence, text sequence, okay? Which is just, all you have is one SMS text and one delivery email to start with. Delivery email. That's it. Simplest campaign you could possibly set up. This part here is so that we don't have to waste time on funnels, videos, long form copy. Okay. This part here is so that we don't have to build out some 6-month follow-up sequence that if the ads don't work, we're never going to put another person into it anyway. So why did I waste all that time with it? Okay. We need to figure out what we're going to say in the emails and the texts and all that shit, right? Before we actually build them all out. The other part of the SO text sequence here that is great and that we love is because this elicits a response. So one of the primary reasons we have this in is so that for our AI setter bots and stuff to be able to engage and start working. But one of the first reasons we used to use it was twofold. One, for our setters, not the robot ones, but the, real humans we have. And then the other side is, who here has ever heard a client say that the leads they're calling say they have no idea who the fuck they are, or they never opted in, they never filled out a lead form, they have no idea what the hell's going on. It's super, super difficult for them to say that if they not only opted in, but they also got a text message that said, hey, is this you? You just opted into this thing. And they say yes. right? So it's a repeated message. It's something to get back in front of them. It's something for them to understand that. But when we have ads now, 80 to 90% of them, right, are mobile. And so what that means is this is pretty much, where's the draw? Here we go. If this is a phone screen, right? And this is how much space our ad takes up. It's on their phone right now. Like this up here is the text, and this is the graphic. Why I say that is because now Facebook did the thing where they took away the 20% text rule a long time ago. And so we abuse the shit out of that now. This is just a giant CTA normally on the control ads with like maybe some graphic, right? And then you've got your headline up here, right? So that when we're doing the initial control ad, we just keep it, again, stupid, simple, stupid, frictionless. We can get into like lifestyle pictures and other versions of the CTAs and stuff in the other rounds of rapid fire testing. But to start with, we just keep it simple like this. Does that answer your question? Yep. Perfect. Cool. All right. So then now let's just do a quick recap. All right. What have we done? We've created a scary offer. Awesome. Every single ad campaign ever needs to have a scary offer. Do not ever let your clients convince you that their business is so good that they don't need an offer, because they do, especially when you're going to cold traffic. You need to have not only one offer, but you need to have 3 or 4 so that you can test them in rapid fire testing. Second thing you do is, okay, cool, I convinced them to do the scary offer. Number 2, I need a control ad. Okay, I need a very simple scary offer based control ad that I can go to work with. 3, I need a frictionless campaign that I can put to work right away. Something that I can take this control ad and this scary offer and put it to work right away so that I can start testing. Then I need a methodology, right? Okay, cool. I've got all these assets, Cody. What do I do now? Now I need a methodology to be able to put this shit to work and optimize in an appropriate way. What that means is a way to isolate each individual variable towards our success. This is not the spaghetti method where you throw a bunch of shit on the wall and say, woohoo, one of them stuck or nothing of it stuck, so I got to go do this all again. This is isolate individual variables: audience, offer, creative, otherwise known as right person, right offer, right message, right? Isolate those variables in a way that I can now produce winning assets. And after that, I can scale and invest the time that I wanted to invest in the beginning. You want to go build VSLs now? You want to go shoot video ads now? You want to go create long form copy and stuff now? I can do that now because I've created a bunch of winners. Hopefully this is making sense, guys. So now the last part of this is, what does that actually mean? Well, enter the rapid fire testing methodology. This is a methodology used to launch brand new Facebook ad campaigns, best suited for new client, new account, new areas, new launches, fixing poor performing campaigns, optimizing results. The main benefit of using this method, guys, is that you can essentially validate funnels, personas, right message, right offer, all that stuff before investing time and resources into a full build. The method's broken down into 3 steps. Round 1 is testing personas and audiences. Round 2 is testing hooks and lead magnets. Here we're determining what approach works best for our persona, what offer is the right person to get in front of them. And round 3 is creative. It's essentially an incubator for your creative. We go through multiple rounds around that. Ideal budget, $200 to $1,000, and making sure that we get past a few thousand impressions. And I've got this spreadsheet over here I'll kind of go over in a second in the infographic. So round 1 breakdown, okay, the purpose of this is to validate personas and audiences. Okay, that's usually centered around a problem that you help solve. The campaign setup is you're going to create a lead gen campaign. So specifically lead gen campaign, okay? Target a different audience for each one. So what that actually means is you're coming in here, we're testing round 1, we're testing audiences. Now, repeating myself on how campaigns are set up, I'm just going to do some basic shit real quick, okay? In the Facebook ad account, you have a campaign, then you have ad sets, then you have ads. The way that it is set up is the campaign houses the ad sets. Each individual ad set is your audience. That's where you're doing the differentiating between the audiences. Inside of that, you have ads. So on step 1, you have the exact same control ad spread out between 3 to 5 ad sets. And each one of those ad sets is going to have a different audience. Now, normally with this kind of testing, what we present is we do who they are, what they do, data-based targeting, and 3D targeting. Who they are is interests, okay, that kind of stuff, hobbies, what they do, and also behavioral stuff like married with kids. What they do is education or job title or employer type audiences. Data-based is going to be your lookalike audiences based on customer lists and lookalike and lead lists. And 3D targeting is taking some of those things and combining them. Meaning, i.e., if I want to target a small business that is a plumber, right? A guy who owns a plumbing company, I could target plumbing as an interest and must match. You narrow the audience, must match small business owner. You're likely to get people who own a small business that is a plumbing company. And so you can create out of those 4 core concepts, almost endless amounts of preliminary testing audiences for yourself and your clients. You want to run it through this. So testing round 1 is just going through this, getting it to a few thousand impressions, getting a couple $100 spent, and looking for a clear distinction between the costs per audience conversion. Once you get that, right? If it doesn't get that after a few days, you just keep rotating. But once you do get it, then you can move on. You optimize by shutting off a couple of the least performing audiences and getting a couple of winners. You want 2, 3 winners and to shut off all the rest that are underperforming. You move on to hooks. And this is going to be testing the top line of the ad and the headline of the ad. And if you have a control ad graphic that has it on there too, you'd swap that out. Just a simple, whatever the headline offer is. Now you're testing 3 to 4 different ones on here. Now, again, how you set that up. You set that up by knowing that, okay, I've got my ad set now down at the ad level. You're going to take your control ad and you hit duplicate. You can duplicate it into all ad sets. So you move that new ad into all ad sets. And then when you design the new ad that has a hook and a headline change and you hit publish, it will put that into all your winning audiences, right? So in the first round, we're isolating audiences. Then we have a winning audiences. So now we're isolating the second variable, which is offers. Good. And then you're doing the same thing. You're recommending, you're doing some ad spend, you're going through some impressions, you want to make sure enough people see it. And then you're looking for a clear distinction in cost between the offers. Once you get that, you optimize again, you shut off the least performers, you look around at it, and then you move on to round 3. Round 3, you're doing one of 3 different types: copy, images, or videos, or headline. There's different separate rounds for each of these. So you're just doing a round of copy, then you'd move on to maybe images, maybe headlines. This is an ongoing thing. This is where we just start rotating through to continuously improve using our base level stuff. Now, using rapid fire testing and the frictionless method, I will note that a lot less of our clients lately are even moving on from this type of thing. It used to be the case that lead form ads were significantly less qualified, I would say, than moving on to a funnel. So we would almost always, I would say 80% of the time, let's say, what would that make it? 4 out of every 5 people, we would move on to doing VSLs. We would move on to doing SLO products, all of that stuff using the information we had. A lot of our clients now, we're simply scaling what we're learning in the rapid fire testing, and we're creating these lead form campaigns, because when you have appointment setters and the lead quality goes up a little bit, which it has, Facebook's put a lot of effort into keeping us onto that platform. They've been working on making sure that these get a little bit better. And I have noticed a lot, especially in the last 12 months, that we've been able to get pretty extraordinarily profitable just from the lead form campaigns, all from our group growth campaigns, our direct lead gen for our own bottom of funnel stuff, and our top of funnel streams for feeding the flywheel. All of that's gotten a lot better. And across the board, the lead cost is still incredibly cheaper by leveraging that kind of a campaign. So I know that was a lot, but quick recap, right? Scary offer, control ad, frictionless, imperfect action-based test campaign, and then finally a testing methodology to actually leverage all of this and get the results you need. That combined, all of this combination is how we're able to consistently every single week generate $10 or better cost per lead for literally any niche that comes into the GSD. Thank you so much for spending the time to watch that amazing training. Like I mentioned previously, my intention is for you not just to watch that training, but if you got something out of it, if you think this information is useful, I want you to continue that journey with us. And you can do that in a couple of ways. One, I want you to smash that subscribe button so that you get notified every single time we put another one of these out, which will be at minimum once to twice per week. The other thing I want you to do is go ahead and click that next video right there beside you so that you can dive in and get shit done. Hope to see you out there.